Are you the parent or caregiver of a child who's about to start kindergarten soon? Maybe they're around 5 years old or between the age of 5 and 5.5, and you're looking for ways to make sure that their language development is on track for this huge milestone of going to kindergarten. Well, you've come to the right place. I've already done a video on kindergarten language development, expressive language development, which talks about one of the things that a child should be able to say, which is retelling a simple story with past tense and remembering all of the events. This particular video is going to talk about receptive language, or what a child is understanding. And normally, at around the age of 5, around the time that a child is starting kindergarten, they're expected to be able to follow 3-step directions pretty consistently. So this is what I would look for, and this is something that you can start to do even just at home, is getting your child ready to consistently follow those 3-step directions that they're definitely going to encounter with their teacher and in their classroom. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Amini. I'm a speech and language pathologist with several years of experience working with children and their families to maximize speech and language development. I also have my own private practice, Smarter Speech, in the Bay Area, California. And my mission with this YouTube channel is to empower parents and caregivers, especially for children who are around the age of 5 or under the age of 5, because this is when a child's language is developing so rapidly. Little changes that you do can have huge implications for how their language develops later on, and it can also have huge implications for their overall learning later on as well. So, what are my 3 main tips to help a child with following 3-step directions? First of all, when a child is following 3-step directions, it's very important for a child to use 3 transition words or understand these 3 transition words. And they are first, then, and last. These are kind of cues that a lot of kindergarten teachers use when they're giving directions. And they also help separate a 3-step direction into 3 distinct parts. So first, I turn on the camera, then I talk, last, I press pause is an example of a first, then, and last direction. So that's a caveat that you want to do throughout. And you also want to make sure that, especially in the beginning of teaching your child to follow 2 to 3, especially 3-step directions, you want to repeat your directions 2 or 3 times. And you want to maybe model your directions a few times before you expect your child to follow it. With time, you can repeat less and model less, but in the beginning, so your child can learn, you want to repeat your directions a few times. You also want to model a few times. So I could apply this in different ways, but one of the most intuitive and easy ways to apply this is with arts and crafts. So anytime you're sitting down with your child for art time, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes a day, you are going to get a lot of 3-step directions. So for example, maybe you're doing a craft. Maybe you found some fun craft at a store and you want to do it together. Usually the craft will involve some form of coloring. So first, color, then cut, and last, glue. So those are our 3 steps. First, we color, then we cut. Last, we glue. What's really great about this is you're going to automatically repeat this direction so many times, because every time you color, cut, and glue, you're going to say the steps of directions. You're going to say it slowly using those transition words, and your child is going to see so many models of it. Additionally, they're automatically going to be following this 3-step direction because they are also going to be crafting with you. So we got our first, then, and last very easily. Even if you were to just do coloring by itself, you're going to get a lot of 3-step directions. Maybe you guys are coloring a certain picture, like a face. So first, we color the eyes, then we color the nose, and last, we color the mouth, for example. You can say that a few times, draw your own or color your own face, and then have your child do the first, then, and last and color. So what you're essentially doing, again, you modeled the direction, you repeated it a few times, and you can do the same first, then, and last for every part of the picture you're coloring, or for every part of the landscape that you're drawing, whatever it is that you're doing. So arts and crafts, a great time to both model and have your child follow and repeat 3-step directions. So that's my first suggestion. My second suggestion is actually to use play. So anytime you're playing some games with your child, you can repeat the steps that are needed in that game. So for example, this game is usually a great hit with kindergartners. Don't break the ice. So first we set up the ice. So here's the setup of the ice, if we can see. Then we pick the ice. And last, the penguin falls, right? So you can use that series to describe how to play the game, repeat it a few times, and then what you end up doing is you're modeling by playing the game and your child is following. So again, you did that same 3-fold model of repeat, show, and have your child follow without much pressure yet again. Another great fun game that's usually starts being played around the age of 5 is Trouble. Same thing. So first we press, then we pick a piece, and last we move. And the great thing with this one is every single time you can work on those directions. So every single piece, first we pop, then we pick, last we move. You'll be following it, your child will be following it, they'll hear it over and over again. And so they will be really ready to listen to first, then, and last by the time that they go to school. You could even do it with pretend play. So say you guys are playing school together, maybe first the bus stops, and then the bus door opens, and last the kid goes out. So you can do that for each kid in the bus, modeling it, showing it, saying it over and over again, and then you can ask your child maybe to do the same thing with the next boy. And that way you've modeled it quite a few times, even in play as well. The last suggestion that I have for working on 3-step directions is just to narrate your own 3 steps. So whenever you're recapping what you need to do in the day, when your child is nearby, or maybe you're recapping the day itself, use first, then, and last. So, okay, what does mommy have to do today? Or what does daddy have to do today? Well, first, I'll drop brother at school. Then I'll go grocery shopping. And last, we'll pick him up. And again, you can repeat a few times. I have to first drop him off, then go grocery shopping, last pick him up. Repeat a few times, and your child doesn't have to follow this direction, but again, they're hearing you and they're seeing you follow it. And they're also working on their planning or their executive function. They're learning all of this while they're watching you. So that's a nice and easy one. You can do this as you're planning your day or at different parts of your day as well. Alrighty, so that concludes this tip. As always, if you are worried about your child's speech or language development, please, please, please speak to someone sooner than later. It can be someone as simple as your kindergarten teacher, a school speech therapist, or a private speech therapist, or even a pediatrician. Earlier is always better. You don't want to wait. Finally, if you want some more resources, check out the links in the description box below. There's a link to our mailing list that you can sign up for free monthly kindergarten language tips. There's our link to our ebook on kindergarten language development, a link to our parent education course, and of course, there's also a link to some of the materials that I used in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed, and happy talking.